How is it, everyone? Yes, I know it's been a long time since I made a video, but today I am back, and today I'm here to discuss last weekend's, of course, WWE SummerSlam 2021. I'm here to talk about my live experience being there in Las Vegas, of course, attending at Allegiant Stadium last weekend. Without wasting more time, let's go and dive right into things. So yes, last weekend I attended SummerSlam in Las Vegas. It was honestly a thrown together last minute type of deal. I originally had plans that weekend, or that Saturday to be specific. I was supposed to attend a concert with my girlfriend, but that concert actually got postponed up until November. So once that weekend freed up, I was kind of iffy because, you know, at the time, WWE, the programming just, I mean, still to this day, the product isn't the greatest, but it's at least improved since, you know, I think 2 or 3 months ago, in my opinion. So at the time, you know, the product wasn't the greatest, and it just didn't seem like SummerSlam was going to be all that big of a deal. So I didn't really care to go. But then Money in the Bank happened, and John Cena came back. And then they made John Cena versus Roman Reigns for SummerSlam. And I said to myself, I got to be there for that. It's Las Vegas, it's not that far from me. It's only about a 2-hour flight. Originally, I thought it was about a 10-hour drive, but actually ended up being about an 8-hour drive. So I was like, all right, I can either fly there or I can drive there, either way. Looking up flights, of course, this is a few weeks out, so flights are obviously expensive as hell. So I figured, why not? I'm going to drive there. 8-hour drive there. So Saturday night comes, Saturday morning, I should say, about between 3 and 4 a.m. I don't know the specific time, but between there, my girlfriend and I took off for Vegas. We drove. It was about 1:30-ish, I want to say, by the time we got to the SummerSlam store. I wanted to go to the Superstore right away. That was my first priority. As soon as we got to Vegas, I wanted to get there and go there. And I was very excited. I was hyping it to my girlfriend. I was like, listen, I'm probably going to act like a kid in a candy store and Superstore to see everything, just to give you a forewarning. So I'm hyping this up. I'm very, very excited. And I get to the Superstore and talk about a disappointment. Think about being a kid, Christmas morning, all excited, open all these gifts up, you want all these new toys, open stuff up, and it sucks. That's why I felt like going to the Superstore, because it was just empty, man. The floor that was filled is pretty much just open space. The t-shirts that were left, pretty much just upper sizes. There was just like nothing there. So I was very disappointed because in my mind, I had all these things I wanted to get. One thing I specifically wanted to get was the I Was There picture frame for SummerSlam, where it was like the Vegas logo, but it was a SummerSlam logo instead. I wanted to get that for my girlfriend and I, but that wasn't there. So I was just like, I was kind of let down. But on the bright side of things, thankfully in the SummerSlam app at Allegiant Stadium, they had a stadium pickup. So I was able to go through the list of things they had in there. They pretty much had almost everything I wanted besides, like I said, the picture frame and the SummerSlam poster. I want to get that to commemorate the show as well, but they obviously sold out and that wasn't at the stadium. So I picked up through the list of things I wanted. I pretty much got everything I wanted, so I'll go through all that stuff once I get there. The Superstore, like I said, is pretty much a massive disappointment, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. After that, we kind of just browsed around Vegas for a little bit, went to the mall, went to the pop shops, just, you know, explored a little bit before we were able to check into our hotel room. Checked in there, and then of course after that we followed through, went to Allegiant Stadium for, of course, SummerSlam. Got in there. It sucked because, of course, the parking lot where we parked at was at the south side of the entrance to the stadium, and of course our ticket, we had to go to the north side only. So we had to go all the way the fuck around to the other side. Is what it is. What can you do? I didn't have a physical ticket because the way it happened, they just don't have physical tickets anymore, I guess, or just events currently don't have physical tickets. So I don't have a ticket the show. However, I did purchase the souvenir ticket for SummerSlam. My seats were good for what they were, the upper section, of course, but I enjoyed it. I had a great view, didn't have any obstruction, which I was kind of worried about because I knew they'd be building some kind of structure on the ring. So I was worried that they'd build it to where it obstructed my view, but thankfully didn't obstruct my view at all. So I was very, very happy with my seats. But before I got to my seats, I was able to do a pickup order at the stadium for the merch I wanted. I was able to pick up 4 things that I wanted. One of the main things being the official SummerSlam program. As you can see on the cover, you got John Cena and Roman Reigns, official SummerSlam program. On the spine, if you can make out what it says, it's got Vegas 2021 SummerSlam Las Vegas on there. And of course, in the back, you have the rest of the marquee matches as well. But unfortunately, it's a very basic program. None of the matches are in here. It's just a Superstars program disguised as a SummerSlam program. So even though it's SummerSlam, it's just a regular WWE program, unfortunately. So I wish they put the effort in to make it like they used to be, where WWE put in the effort into the stuff they put out, the exclusives, but they just don't care anymore, unfortunately, and it is what it is. That's WWE for you. But yeah, I definitely had to pick up the official program. And along with that, I had to get the t-shirt that sold me to the event itself. Reigns versus Cena, SummerSlam Vegas 2021, face-off on the front, and then as well on the back, you have the career accomplishments and the stats of, you know, two individuals. Yeah, this is the shirt I won the most. This is the shirt I wore to the event as well. So yeah, like I said, you know, I had to get the shirt that sold me the event. And when you go to the event, you always got to get the event t-shirt, in my opinion, and that's exactly what I got right here. You got John Cena and Roman Reigns, and of course, like I said, the other marquee matches that you got pretty much on the program. Of course, you have the date on the bottom, and on the back, you got the I was there with the SummerSlam logo. I really wish they'd go back to where they put the entire match card on the back of the event shirts, because that's why they have an I was there shirt and an event shirt, to have them be different. So I don't know why they got to put the I was there in the event shirt, but it is what it is. Really nice looking front. Glad you got to have gotten that. And speaking of I was there, had to get the I was there shirt, the SummerSlam logo with the slots and the front. And then onto the back, you got I was there SummerSlam with the date in Vegas and everything. So definitely had to pick those up. And that, of course, was all I had from my pickup order at Allegiant Stadium. And following that, before we went to our seats, we had to get food, of course, because we're hungry. And as we're getting food, they always at the events, they sell the collector cup. And that's exactly what I got with my drink right here. Here's the cup with Roman Reigns and John Cena. Very, very basic, and a very, very basic cup too. It's just a regular plastic, you know, cup you get from like a, you know, corner store. You know, WWE usually with event cups, you know, they put that nice quality cup, or you know, the $10 you pay for it is worth the money you pay for it. I know they sell these at the superstore for $5, but near the event they charge up more because you get the drink with it and everything. But I don't know. I just wish WWE would look. You can see the freaking outing of the cup from the inside. You know, it goes to show you the quality they use for these cups. And two things I actually forgot to show as we're entering the stadium. They were actually handing out these rally towels, and I actually didn't know until now they actually had two of them. I thought I only got handed one, but actually got handed two of them. So just thought I handed out. They were just handing these out as you were walking in, so it's nothing special. It's obviously a WWE logo on it. Just thought I'd go ahead and mention that though. And I also got two things SummerSlam related in the mail the other day. I didn't get these at the event. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know the stadium had stadium exclusive stuff at the merch table. I saw that Vince shirt from afar, but I didn't know they also had other merchandise that was a stadium exclusive. And one of those things was a stadium exclusive I was there poker chip. As you can see right there, it says I was there at SummerSlam logo with Vegas and everything. And you got, you know, the WWE logo on the other side, got the SummerSlam logo with the date on this side. I didn't know they were selling this. If I would have known that, I definitely would have went for it. But I saw someone was selling this, and pretty much for face value, it seemed like it wasn't that much money. So I was like, hey, you know, I'll get that, and bought it. And you also threw in this cozy as well with the day in it. You got Pure Life, so I don't know if they're handing these out at SummerSlam or whatever, but I thought that was a little cool thing extra thrown. But yeah, I thought the poker chip was definitely a cool thing to add on, and definitely was another cool memorabilia item to add to the SummerSlam collection. So that is everything merch related related to the event. But yeah, as I was saying, I got, you know, I was getting the drink, and then we got the food, went to our seats. Unfortunately, missed the pre-show match, which was between Baron Corbin and Big E, which is whatever. I heard it happening in the background because as we were getting in line for the food, I heard the match starting because I saw Corbin holding the briefcase as I was walking like between the little sections where they have like the curtain open where you can see. I saw that's how I knew that's what the match was. I didn't know who was in the ring. I just heard it, and then I saw Corbin with the briefcase. So yeah, I missed that match completely, but I'm not. It's whatever. I feel like that match has probably happened a million times on TV already, so nothing to complain about. Got to our seats. Like I said, good view. Nothing to complain about at all. No obstruction, which I was kind of worried about. I thought maybe it might have a little bit of obstruction, but thankfully I didn't. Perfect view of everything. The stage, which, I mean, the lack of stage, I guess the ramp, the entranceway, I guess you should call it, and the ring. So I didn't have a bad view whatsoever. Then, of course, the show begins. Everyone's hyped and excited. Everyone's expecting pyro. Everyone's all hyped. Everyone's recording. And then just no pyro happens. I'm just like, of course, they didn't have any pyro. But then I understood where the entranceway was at. There's kind of no way to put any pyro anywhere. So I understand completely. And then the show starts, and I'm gonna try and go through the show as quickly as possible, kind of give quick thoughts and everything, so I'll make it as quick as I possibly can. But of course, the show opened up with a Raw Tag Team Championship match, AJ Styles and Omos defending against RK Bro. The crowd was very excited for this match, especially when RK Bro came out. They were red hot for Riddle and Randy Orton. It was an enjoyable match. I thought Omos looked good. The chokeslam on the Riddle got a huge reaction onto the apron, but then of course Omos got taken out. Orton and AJ had a good exchange towards the end. AJ going for the phenomenal forearm, but Orton going for the RKO counter. But AJ, of course, seeing it coming because they've done that counter in that spot 1,000 times already. AJ is able to outsmart it, not go for that. Ended up going for a roll up on Orton. Orton ends up kicking out, hitting RKO out of nowhere on AJ Styles for the 1-2-3. So RK Bro become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. The place went absolutely crazy for it. Everyone was very excited. Definitely was a very positive way to kick off the show, and the crowd was very, very invested into it as well. So definitely was good stuff. Very, very happy, and definitely set the pace for the rest of the show, if you ask me. And from there, I'm going to go to Alexa Bliss taking on Eva Marie, which definitely was a Debbie Downer. I don't think anyone cared for this match, and yeah, it showed. There was lack of reaction. People around me were bored. Just no one cared. And the funny part is, this match is only a few minutes, but it felt like it went on for like 10 minutes. It definitely should have been a squash in a minute if you ask me, but it is what it is. The only thing really noteworthy was that Eva like slapped around Lily, which pissed off Alexa. Alexa went for Twisted Bliss, which she missed, but ended up getting the DDT anyways on Eva for the 1-2-3. So Alexa defeats Eva in short fashion. Like I said, even though it was a few minutes, I felt like it went on 10 minutes. So afterwards, Doudrop obviously announces Eva as a loser, and then drops her. So, well, not drops her literally, but just like drops her, like, you know, she's done with her. So they're gonna have a match on Raw tomorrow night. Whatever, no one cares. Just, I'm more interested to see what the hell they're gonna do with Eva now that she's gonna be on her own, or pair up with someone else. I don't know, but whole match, no one cared for, and that should have been something on Raw if you ask me, but it is what it is. Backstage, Mario Lopez, of all people, interviewing RK Bro. The only thing really cool about this, I thought, was Mario Lopez name dropping WWF, not in a way where he seemed like he was just saying it thinking it's still called WWF, but he said it, you know, throwing it back to the WWF days. That was a cool little way to put that in there, to, you know, pay homage to that. So nice little funny interview with Riddle and Orton, obviously, so it was a nice little backstage thing. Following that, we had the United States Championship match, Sheamus defending against Damian Priest, which I thought was a good match. The pacing was pretty slow at the begining. The crowd really wasn't into it, even though they're putting on a solid match. There's nothing bad to it, but it was just like, it was one of those matches where you're sitting there like, okay, I'm just waiting for something to happen. You know, you're just waiting for something to happen to get your attention, and that's exactly kind of what it took. You know, when they started hitting all these big power moves, you know, Damian Priest hitting the slice of heaven for a great near fall. They just started going at it where they're having these back and forth near falls, where the crowd was very invested into it. So at the final stretch, was very, very good. So good stuff. Sheamus hits a bicycle knee when Damian Priest does a springboard for a great near fall, which I thought was a bro kick, for not a bicycle knee, but that played into a great near fall. Going back and forth, Damian Priest eventually hits a reckoning on Sheamus for the 1-2-3 after he tears his mask off and uses it against him. I thought that was a great finish and a great way to end a pretty good match overall. Like I said, the beginning was kind of slow, but towards the end definitely picked up to be an enjoyable match. So very happy to see Damian Priest win his first title in the main roster, and yeah, him and Sheamus, like I said, had a pretty good match. And following that, we had Rey Mysterio and Dominik taking on the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Honestly, nothing noteworthy really happened. I know Dominik did the Three Amigos as, you know, tribute to Eddie, but besides that, nothing really happened in this match. Not that this match was bad. It was a, you know, good match for what it was. It's just nothing really to pay attention to or care for. It's some near falls, and it was a pretty good solid match, like I said, but just nothing to really pay attention to. And the crowd didn't care. People around me were just talking about anything else but this match. So yeah, it just wasn't worth really paying attention to. But the Usos, of course, got the victory to retain the SmackDown Tag Team title. So like I said, good match, but just nothing really of interest. Tiffany Haddish was backstage. She interviewed Damian Priest. Random thought, but did she ever host that SummerSlam party? I feel like they advertised a bunch of stuff that just didn't happen. I know, WWE advertising stuff that doesn't happen. Wow, what a concept, right? But I don't know. I just thought they hyped up this SummerSlam after party with her hosting, and it just seemed like anything happened. So I was just curious if that even happened. So what it is what it is. Like I said, interviewed Damian Priest, just talking about winning the US title. Not much to it. After that, we had King Nakamura come out for an entrance for absolutely no reason. But you know what? I'm not going to complain. I love Nakamura, obviously. And I thought, you know, for the time they killed, it was enjoyable. You know, I seen Pat McAfee on the commentary table just losing his mind for the entrance and doing it along with Nakamura and Rick Boogs. It was an enjoyable time, and it was a fun little segment to fill the time. It was harmless. So, and then following that, we had, which was supposed to be Sasha Banks taking on Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Obviously, that didn't happen. I know the news came out like a week before that match, you know, that Bianca and Sasha may not happen, but then it was going to happen. But then it seemed like the SmackDown before, it was in question. I don't know the official time when they knew they weren't going to do the match. I know people were like, oh, fuck WWE for advertising it and not saying anything to the last minute. I'm not excusing it, but it's just at the point where it's like, that's WWE. They do this shit all the time. Or they'll know about it, but they won't say anything till the last minute. And like I said, that's not me excusing them. That's just me saying how it is. And I can't get too upset over something they always do. So it is what it is. I'm not, what can you do? Should they have kept promoting it? Especially considering how casually they like announced it. Like Bianca comes out, everyone's all hyped, and then Greg's just like, by the way, Sasha's not cleared to compete tonight, so Bianca will be facing Carmella now. It was so casual. It's like, how do you go such a casual way about it? I don't know. It's not worth my energy to complain about, so it is what it is. Sasha's not cleared to compete, so the match is happening. Carmella comes out looking absolutely fucking stunning, might I add. And, you know, Bianca's like, I'm just taking my frustrations out on you. And everyone's like, aw, we got to sit through this match that we've seen literally 50 times in the past month. And before the bell rings, Becky Lynch's music hits and the place fucking erupts, man. That place came unglued. I jumped out of my seat. I was losing my mind for Becky. It was great. It was an awesome moment. Becky comes out. She takes out Carmella. Everyone's excited because it's obviously going to happen next. And in my mind, thinking, okay, we're probably going to get a solid, 7 to 10 minute match out of Bianca and Becky. Because I know Becky ain't going to come back and go, 15, 20 minutes. I think, a solid 10 minutes she'll do. And the bell rings. And I honest to God didn't see the handshake. I just thought it was Becky forming her. And I'm like, oh. And then Becky hits her with a freaking Uranagi. And I'm thinking, if she pins her, I'm going to laugh. And 1, 2, 3. I immediately burst into laughter. I just laughed because I'm like, that's such a WWE move to do. And it's very obvious what they're doing with it. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, you guys got to wait it out. You got to wait for it to play out, guys. It's gonna make sense. No, it's very clear what they're doing. It doesn't mean it's right. That's all I'm saying. Just because I understand the direction they're going in and what obviously they're doing, doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. So, yeah, Becky just squashes Bianca. It is what it is. Becky coming back is a cool moment. Her winning the title is a cool moment too. So, I'm not going to complain about it. Just like I said, that's just WWE booking. I'm not going to waste my time complaining about it. So, it is what it is. Following that match, we had Drew McIntyre taking on Jinder Mahal. Pretty much the same as the Alexa Eva match. It was only a few minutes, but it felt like we're on 10 minutes. It should have been a squash match. McIntyre should have just thrown him around for like a minute and then hit the Claymore. I don't know why they haven't thrown him around minutes later on, but yeah, it was what it was. It's pretty much exactly what it should have been anyways. But like I said, me selfishly, I just wanted to be a squash. So that way I can just get it out of the way. But yeah, no one cared for it. McIntyre got a good response, so people cared for McIntyre, just didn't care for the match. So what it was, McIntyre won with the Claymore, so it is what it is. After that, we had an introduction for the U.S. Olympic freestyle winners for the men and women. They just came down and that was it. I thought they'd do something in the ring with them, but it was just like, oh, we're gonna walk down the ramp for a minute and kill time. So I don't understand the point that was, but I thought it was cool for them to get a little showcase, give them their victories. And then, of course, following suit was the triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. Nikki, A.S.H, defending against Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. Had a pretty good start, but I thought it hasn't progressed. It got kind of sloppy. There was definitely some miscommunication. Thought Charlotte and Nikki just weren't really on the same page. They were kind of alternating people as well. It was one of those triple threats where they were just kind of like going in and out, switching between which two were in the ring. So you didn't get a whole lot of triple threat action besides like pretty much the beginning and the middle, not the beginning and the middle, the beginning and the end of the match. So it was fine for what it was. No one really cared for it until Charlotte hit the corkscrew moonsault on the outside, which surely killed herself in the process with the landing. So that was, pretty crazy spot there. But the match definitely picked up from that moment. I felt like it got a lot of great near falls to the point where I think anyone thought any woman was going to be able to win the championship. There were a lot of great exchanges and some near falls. Everyone's hitting their finish and submissions. So I thought it was a very fun final stretch to this match. And the crowd definitely invested at that point, especially when Charlotte locked in that initial figure 8 on Rhea. Everyone thought, like, oh no, Charlotte's going to win. But then Nikki broke it up like, okay, I thought there was a chance, Rhea or Nikki could win. But then, of course, Nikki took out Rhea on the outside, and then Charlotte in the inside took out Nikki, put her in the figure 8, which led to a submission victory. So Charlotte Flair wins her 97th Women's Championship against Nikki A.S.H at SummerSlam. I expected it, and so I can't really complain about it. But yeah, the match itself was very good. I thought, like I said, the final stretch really picked up and it had a really good pacing. The crowd definitely was live for it, and definitely was an enjoyable match. Following that, we had, which I thought was match of the night, and definitely a match of the year contender if you ask me, Edge taking on Seth Rollins. This was an awesome match live. The first time I seen Edge live in 10 years. Last time I saw him live was the SmackDown after Elimination Chamber 2011, obviously, which was, you know, just a little over a month before he had to retire. So seeing Edge for the first time, you know, in over 10 years was very exciting. And not only that, but I saw the Brood entrance. Fucking awesome. Now, it was funny because when Rollins was having a 20-minute entrance because they were setting up the little platform for Edge to the Brood entrance, I didn't understand what they were doing. I thought maybe it was they were building a platform to get him pyro on, because I didn't watch the SmackDown Go Home show to SummerSlam, so I didn't see the bloodbath on Seth Rollins until the video package. So I didn't really put two and two together until it was happening. So yeah, the Brood entrance was a complete surprise to me. So that was absolutely awesome to see him make that entrance and everything. I absolutely loved it, which of course transitioned into his modern day entrance, which was even better. Absolutely loved every second of it. And Edge and Seth Rollins, like I said, match tonight, awesome stuff. Now I will admit it was a little hard to get into at the beginning because it's one of those matches where it was just slow. They were kind of filling each other out, and you know, not a whole lot was going on, so it was definitely a slower paced match. But once once Edge hit the spear on Seth Rollins off the apron, it was just full gear after that. Love the story with, you know, Rollins working on Edge's neck the entire match, going for the stomp, and every time he'd go for the stomp, Edge would do something to counter out of it, which I thought was great storytelling, especially towards the end when, you know, Rollins went for the stomp and Edge able to roll on his back, catch him, put him in a submission hold, and then counter that into, had Rollins' crossface, Rollins trying to get out of it, slams Rollins' face into the mat several times, puts him into like a guillotine crossface, and of course Rollins taps out after that. So Edge is your winner over Seth Rollins. Like I said, fantastic match. The final half of it was just tremendous storytelling and tremendous action from both men. Edge has just been on a roll since he's been back, and the run he's having right now definitely is incredible. So, yeah, great match. Seth Rollins definitely was a 7-year wait since they initially started that little segment on Raw. So, yeah, best match tonight, if you ask me, hands down. And following that match, of course, they announced that Money in the Bank will be at Allegiant Stadium next year for 4th of July weekend, which is huge. You know, years ago, the report came out that they wanted to make, you know, Money in the Bank that 5th big pay-per-view. So for them to kind of get that done and put in a stadium show is, you know, is great. I think it's a great value for Money in the Bank, and it makes it a big pay-per-view, and so I'm very excited for it. Whether I'm attending it or not, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to make any plans to attend it as of right now, but it's cool to know that it'll be there for next year, so that is exciting for anyone that plans on attending it. And then of course, following suit of that, they announced the attendance, which was 51,000 plus people, obviously over exaggerated number. I think there's at least 45,000, I think, from what I understand ticket sales wise, but you know, 51,000, obviously it's kind of an exaggerated number, but you know, it is what it is. And then following that, we had a Miz and Morrison promo. I absolutely hated every second of it. As much as I love attending shows, the one problem with WWE, and this, I know this happens for WrestleMania a lot nowadays, but it just gets to a point where it's like the show just seems like it's going on too long. And this segment, at this point in the show, I was kind of like, I just wanted to go home. If they're going to have the show go 4 hours, they should have had the show start at 4. I don't know why they had it start at 5 still. But yeah, this segment just seemed like it went on forever. Xavier Woods interrupted with the Dripstick 2000, sprayed Miz and Morrison. So just a dumb segment that should never happen, but it is what it is. Following that, we had the WWE Championship match between Bobby Lashley and Goldberg, which, you know, going into it, I wasn't expecting a great match, but I expected a, you know, a few minute match of just them beat the shit out of each other. So I was like, you know what? I'll give this match a pass for that reason alone. But of course, the one time I want Goldberg to go out there and do 2 fucking moves, which he does every match. He wants to actually try to wrestle. Goldberg did a shoulder block. He freaking did a body toss. He was busting out some wrestling moves. So I was like, Goldberg, what are you doing, man? Bill, the one time I just want to see a spear and a jackhammer. You can't do that. What are you doing? So, yeah, Bill tries to wrestle, gets distracted by MVP, which allows Bobby Lashley to take advantage. Bobby Lashley tried to hit a jackhammer, which Goldberg got out of. Bobby Lashley went to the top. Goldberg nearly dumped Bobby Lashley on his fucking head, throwing him off the top rope. Set up for a spear, hits it. It's going for a jackhammer, but MVP hits him with his cane on Goldberg's leg. So Bobby Lashley targets Goldberg's leg, throws him in the post leg first, just beats down his leg, you know, is working on it to the point where Goldberg can't stand, so the referee calls it off. So Lashley retains via referee stoppage. So I'm thinking, okay, they're probably gonna have a rematch. And then afterwards, Goldberg, you know, he's selling the leg, and Lashley takes a chair, starts beating down Goldberg's leg. He's beating him, and then Gage out of nowhere jumps on Lashley's back. Lashley dumps Gage, puts him in the hurt lock, and just dumps him right there, and then walks out. You know, MVP's freaking out, thinking like, dude, he's a kid. And Goldberg, you know, he's looking at Lashley, he's saying, I'm going to kill you, you know, whatnot. So, obviously, it's going to continue. They're probably going to do a rematch at Crown Jewel at Saudi Arabia. So, I understand. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not in favor of this match being a setup match, but at least it somewhat had a clean finish still. It's not like it was a DQ finish. You know, Lashley technically did beat Goldberg. It was just by referee stoppage. So, hopefully, the rematch, if they have a rematch, which is likely, like I said, probably for Crown Jewel, hopefully it's just Lashley beating Goldberg straight up. There's no reason for Goldberg to beat Lashley. So, yeah, we'll see how that unfolds, but it is what it is. And then we go to the main event, which was the reason why I bought a ticket to this show. John Cena challenging Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Very, very excited. John Cena comes to a thunderous applause. At first, I didn't understand the character was an NFT. So, when I first saw it appear as Titantron, I was like in front of it thinking, what the fuck was that? But then obviously I found out what it was. But that t-shirt is cool. I would love to have it. I'm not paying $1,000 for it, but I want it for all those tile reigns in the back. That t-shirt's cool for that reason alone. But yeah, Cena comes out. Roman Reigns comes out to a thunderous reaction as well, being booed. Great responses for both men live. Everyone was very electric when they both came out. And then I know the bell rang, and then it kind of died down because, you know, it's, again, like with Edge and Rollins and whatnot, it's, you know, it's not that nothing bad or anything was happening. It was kind of just waiting for something to happen, you know. And I understand the story. The story was just Cena needed to pin Roman 1, 2, 3. And that's all Cena was doing. He was going for roll-ups. He was going for any type of pin he possibly could on Roman. And Roman was seeing through his shit. You know, Cena went for the shoulder tackle, and Roman just kind of gave him a Superman punch because Roman's seeing through his shit. So Roman was talking a lot of shit. I couldn't hear it. So that was the unfortunate part about that match, because I feel like that was a big contributor to that match. I haven't gone back and watched it yet, but I feel like the shit talking and the commentary was a big part of the storytelling. So to not get that from a crowd perspective, the beginning of it, kind of, that's why it wasn't as exciting. But once Cena hit that AA, man, and then hit that AA to the table on the outside, the crowd was red hot for it. Back in the ring, you know, Cena going for the leg drop, and then, you know, Reigns countering into a power bomb, and then Cena hitting the final knuckle shuffle, you know, finally on Roman, then hitting the AA off the second rope. The crowd was just red hot, and everyone was going crazy for all the near falls and everything. And yeah, everyone was really hoping for Cena to win the championship, man. It was crazy. You know, when they're doing the spot where they're hitting each other back and forth. You know, 100% yay for Cena, 100% boo for Roman. Just fucking surreal, man. Absolutely awesome. But obviously Cena, like I said, hit that huge A off the second rope for a great near fall. Everyone, including myself, thought that might have been it, but it wasn't. You know, Cena setting up. He was doing this, which I thought wasn't that the pose for like his 5th move of doom he did for a little bit a couple years ago? So I'm like, is he really gonna bust out the 5th move of doom? But end up transferring this to the ooh ah, and you know, obviously set up for the spear. Roman counters it, Superman punch, another one. Does his own ooh ah, hits one spear on John Cena. 1, 2, 3. That's all she wrote. Roman Reigns retains the Universal Championship against John Cena. Great match. Atmosphere for it was insane towards the end of it. Just a very, very fun final stretch. The crowd was on the edge of their seats the entire time, including myself, and I thought it was a great match. So Roman Reigns retains, stands over Cena, stands over him, holding the championship, which I thought was great. Got a picture of it. And as I'm sitting back down, you know, Roman's about to do the "You Can't See Me" out of fucking nowhere, and I thought Becky got a huge reaction earlier. Brock Lesnar comes out, and the place destroyed the ceiling. It was fucking deafening when Brock came out. The place went wild. I was marking out like crazy. I'll be honest, I haven't marked out that hard in I don't know how long, because that was a legitimate surprise for me. I did not expect Brock whatsoever. You know, there wasn't any news whatsoever about Brock coming back. If anything, he was nowhere near going to come back until like WrestleMania time at the earliest. So for Brock to come back, complete surprise to me. I was losing my mind for Brock, especially when they showed him the Tron with his ponytail and his goatee, or his beard. I know that he had that look from that meat shop pictures or from whatever, you know, it was like a week prior. But I thought, you know, for wrestling, he would get rid of that look and whatnot. But no, he kept it. And I definitely love it because it's a fresh and different look for Brock. So Brock's back, confronts Roman. I'm losing my shit. Everyone's losing their shit. Of course, Roman chicken shit's out of the ring and Brock's still posing the ring. So, yeah, that was a great moment, man. And I've watched it back so many times just for Michael Cole and Pat McAfee's call. Their commentary is so fucking good. That's the excitement I miss on commentary. Phenomenal call for those two for Brock Lesnar's return. But, yeah, that was an incredible moment live, and definitely was worth it. And it's funny too, because after that, you know, I was gathering my stuff to leave, and I kind of turned around and I see Brock like picking someone up. I'm like, is he beating the shit out of a fan? Is someone charges the ring? Then I realized, oh shit, Cena's still there. And then like, oh shit, he's beating Cena's ass. And then he starts, of course, giving Cena the Germans, and of course gives Cena an F5. So yeah, that was definitely an awesome finish for SummerSlam. And that was that. You know, Brock beat up Cena. I left, and that was that for SummerSlam. I left afterwards. You know, my girlfriend and I went to get some Raising Cane's, because if you're in Nevada, you got to get Raising Cane's. That's fucking phenomenal. It's never not amazing. So got some of that, went back to our hotel room. Then, of course, afterwards in the morning, that's when we went back home. So, yeah, very, very short little trip thrown together at the very last minute. Like I said, I wasn't even supposed to happen. I was supposed to be somewhere else, you know, at a concert, but that got postponed, which opened up this weekend, and I just made it happen at the last minute. So, you know, it's fun. Sometimes those last minute trips, even though as stressful as it would be, they're worth it in the end. I was very glad I went. All in all, SummerSlam was a good, fun show. Was it an amazing blow-away show? No, but it had its moments where it was worth it to me. You know, Brock and Becky coming back was worth it. Cena and Reigns was worth it alone. Edge and Seth Rollins, you know, that match was amazing. So there was a lot of stuff that was definitely made it worth it. You know, the show was like a roller coaster. It had a mixture of a lot of different things, but all in all, it was a fun time, fun experience, and definitely was enjoyable. So I definitely enjoyed SummerSlam, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My first wrestling show in over 2 years, man. San Jose for New Japan 2019 was my last wrestling show. So almost 2 years. SummerSlam was my first time being at an event in 2 years, so definitely was worth it. Got some shows coming up as well. I got Monday Night Raw coming up here in October. Yes, I know it's Raw. It's probably going to fucking be terrible. But you know what? I might use that as my first time to get, you know, maybe shit-faced at a wrestling show while I'm watching. So that way it makes what I'm watching somewhat bearable. You know, so I might do that. And I also have New Japan once again in San Jose in November. So it kind of comes full circle to be back in San Jose for New Japan in November, you know, for Battle in the Valley. So I'm excited for that one. And I might also be doing another wrestling trip as well in November. So I don't want to say too much about that just yet, but that might be a possibility. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave below. And of course, until next time, whatever that may be, no promises. I'm pretty sure I'll make live experience and review videos for my upcoming wrestling shows. So whenever those happen, I may or may not make live videos for those. So I'm not too sure, but whenever it happens, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Thank you guys for watching this video.